locations.
Yeah.
Or D4, D6 with locations, and then each one of those, think of a couple of different things for each. And we're live now, aren't we?
Oh, we are definitely. You know me. I like the little
Yeah.
talk when we enter. All right, so now we are going to talk about building an encounter table for our city, Trigard, which is one of the larger cities that we're going to have in our campaign. Chris was just telling me that one of the things that we should do is just write down a couple locations that we can set up our encounters to take place at. And those locations are the churches, the docks, the marketplace, and then like a government building.
Or we can add some more in there, like taverns and inns.
/ inns, maybe?
Yeah. Alleyways.
Alleyways. I like that. Alleyways is huge. So I feel like because it's such a big city, maybe the alleyways has more of like a 1d10 or 1d8 type thing to it. I don't
Absolutely.
know.
I think that's the beautiful thing of like each location we can have its own separate whatever size table we need.
Right. And we've also decided that the one rolling a 1 is going to be
You are
king. Yeah. You go ahead.
King Lo enters the room.
He likes to go by name King Lo, but those who know him, Lo.
Is the full pronunciation.
Maybe you guys will run into him with one of these. That means that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 6 roll. If you go to enough places, you'll eventually run into the king. Your chances of running into the king have.
So wait, we have 6 places plus the king, so it's 7.
Maybe the king won't be going into alleyways. Maybe that's not his.
Oh no, that's the first table. The 6 is the first table. Never mind. You're right. No, the king would be in alleyways.
He's everywhere.
The king is everywhere.
You guys will go on our NPC page on our website. This guy's stat blocks, which we rolled last week randomly, was ridiculous. It was just like absurd. But can't wait to play him. I finally have someone to challenge pretty much anyone now.
All right, so we have 6 places. All right, 6 locations. Roll me a d6.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah, but is this for a location, or what am I rolling for?
Roll a d6.
Okay. I got a 5.
A 5. All right. What was the 5th location that we found?
Oh.
On there.
Taverns and inns.
All right. So let's taverns, inns, or whatever. What other kind of locations could be there? Shops, or homes.
Homes.
Okay.
Taverns, inns, homes. But taverns, I feel like has its own. Well, let's see. Taverns, inns, homes. This would be like. Could you take a short rest in a tavern?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to roll for it. You can take a short rest anywhere, but
yeah.
Okay. So, what kind of encounters would you have in a tavern?
Oh.
It's like endless though, because you can,
you can do anything there.
Right.
This is just thinking of a couple lead-ins, like for the 1, King Lo enters.
Right. All right. So we're gonna do this. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Should we do?
2, 6. Do another 6. Yeah. We can always add more.
Okay. So that's a role play.
Yeah. Well, that can be anything.
Right. I hope it's not a combat, but it could also be.
Too.
It could also be 2. You roll a 2, and let's do this one combat. There's bandits, and the bandits are robbing.
There's some bandits robbing. Some drunk people.
Or they're just robbers.
Yeah, they're robbing. Number 3 is there's a bunch of drunk people.
The party.
Mm-hmm.
The party celebrating someone.
It could be anyone celebrating.
Or so you have non-combat. Well, but these can all turn into whatever they want. Another role play for like.
There could be a musician. A musician is playing a familiar song to someone.
Oh, I like this one. A slam poet. That would be a role play for me to enjoy, or for you to enjoy.
Do some slam poetry.
Do some expressing.
Oh yeah, you could have it You could have it be outside of a home as someone is sitting on the front porch playing a tune that some character hasn't heard in years.
There's like, could you imagine you turn the corner and you guys are headed towards, you roll the name of the tavern and you go and there's like 30 people sitting on the ground listening to Slam Poet.
Just under a tree.
Is he a spell? And then you got 5, another combat.
One moment.
This could be thinking like, what would a combat encounter be? Probably, you always have bandits, but it could also be like soldiers or the town cops, sort of searching and fighting for criminals. So I was saying like another combat encounter would be like maybe the soldiers are coming and looking for someone and interrogating, and there's altercation there. But you could also have, and then like
there could be a shady guy on a corner,
right?
Gambling. Someone's gambling and invites the party.
So number 6, gambler.
A 4-fingered Willie.
I'm gonna write that down. 4-fingered Willie. Now, so for our encounter table, that came across as this was probably 5 minutes. We were able to create a 6-sided table that we can roll. So you have King Lo, you have the bandits, you have a party celebrating, you have a Slam Poet, you have soldiers coming in looking for something, investigating, trying to find something. And then you guys see out of the corner of your eyes as you're entering the tavern, or you're in the tavern, you see in the corner of the room, there's a gambler at a table.
See, they're all prompts for the players and for you, the DM.
Yeah. I like to have the players roll.
Yeah, definitely.
If it was easier to do in person, I would almost have the players have the table in front of them to know what they are rolling, because sometimes that gives it a little bit more of a kick. But as you see, you don't have to go online and search for tables. You can create your own.
Oh, and your tables don't have to be huge.
No, certainly not.
You can have a table of 2.
I made a mistake. Yes, it's true. That's also very true. I made a mistake. For the forest, I had all these areas that, when you would get to the end, you'd roll, and I would put another piece on. It's sort of like a dungeon, and you'd roll, and another piece would go on. For the desert, I had multiple ways of getting. I had A, B, and C, and but you guys didn't know where you were headed. So the first roll that you made, okay, now you guys are headed towards where the centaurs are, because you don't know the lay of the land. So I want it to be as random as possible until you met someone that could point you in the right direction. So that was the encounter table. There was sort of like really bizarre and random, but I didn't have that many encounters. For the water one, I wanted to make this thing as massive as possible. So I had you in the middle, and my map was in the middle, and the encounters I cut it into a pie, and it would grow out. So if you stayed on this section of the pie, you'd have 6 encounters. But you guys kept them going all over the place and doing different things. I didn't realize you guys were going to get off on the island, and it was nuts. So sometimes having too many encounters is not very helpful, and it can get very overwhelming. So it might be a very nice advice from Chris that you just gave to just dumb it down and have 4. Just do a D4 or a 6.
Thinking of the complexity of what we were trying to do, have a different table for each area. I have a different table. We have our location table and our encounter table. Those encounters can happen at any of those locations.
Like the alleyway?
Yeah. You roll me a D6. Or let's put an extra couple on there. The priest of a local church arrives, or the
priest of church, recruiting members.
or anything. Search wild animals.
Oh, like a zoo got let loose, but it's not.
Or could be rats. Could be
yeah. What about
a fish going crazy?
What about like
or some birds coming in?
Birds, like the movie Birds. There's all of a sudden you feel like you're sitting down and 4,000 birds just come. I like that one. Birds.
So here's a way of dumbing down your tables. You have just your two of, all right, where are we? And if you don't have a set location, all right, figure out a random location. Then you figure out your random table. And the thing that I like to do when I add my tables, after I went somewhere, I just cross it off. Right. But with that prompt, is you can have the idea of that, of like bandits, and it doesn't always have to be the same bandits every time. So even if you get the same number, it's like, all right, there's apparently a lot of thieves in this city because the dice want there to be thieves that you run into, but they're all different.
Yeah.
Or they could be the same.
It would be bizarre if it was the same.
That would definitely be a
one of the times
50-50 roll.
Time heist, you have like 3 encounters that you do, and every time you turn the corner, the same thing happens. One of the same, that's a cool way to play a time heist. But I like this idea of like for this particular session, it was nice because I'm scared sort of running a massive city. It's huge and very big, daunting task to do. I did the small little town Artemisia, and that was tough. But a massive city, I mean, is going to be very overwhelming. But not if you have these little encounter sheets. And when you're writing, a
little prompt goes a long way.
Huge.
If you're improvising. Once you get someone creative on a roll, it's very easy to just keep going and follow through because you already have the story in your head and just describing the story as it's coming to you.
And I always like to have if it gets boring, you can always add something or erase something. I was looking at we're going to do some teleporting soon. And there's this teleportation table. It's one of my favorite encounter table because it is if you roll a 20, you're going somewhere else, my friend. But your encounter table could also be just as random. It doesn't have to necessarily be when you guys were playing and I just got bored and I was running out of gas, creative juice. I just said, screw it. You know what? You guys are going to be teleported using this mechanism of you guys got the teleportation device from I think around the Blue Dragon or wherever it was, and I just teleported you into Metal Gear Solid, and you guys fought the tank for a little bit with Solid Snake, and it doesn't have to be, but you can just throw that on there for shits and giggles, that could be your G20 or something really bizarre like that.
Well, that's the fun thing with like having the goal of the encounter. It's like it can be just for fun to throw some random thing in there that you want to do.
Yeah.
Or it could be a very important encounter to progress the story along or get this little bit of information that the players need in order to figure out some plot element.
I'm going to add something to our traveling.
Okay.
You want to travel around the city, let's just say.
Yeah.
Some of these encounters can
be
used for
roads.
Traveling.
Or an alleyway, it's roads or alleyways.
So here, number 9. You find a sword, and half of the sword is weathered, and the other half is not. And if you're smart enough and roll the smart enough investigation check, or you have a background in smithing, you'll know that sword was sticking in something. It was like a sword in a stone type thing. Find the sheath. That could be a game hook. You could have a game hook there.
Well, I guarantee you, if you have some elvish sword like that, and there's some old man saying, "Oh, you need the sheath to restore it back," Aranis would go full hardcore. All right, we're getting this. I don't care about the skulls. We're stopping everything. Get the sheath. It's a magic elfin artifact.
Activated if you have its sheath. It just so happens that when you pick the sword up and you walk down the street, there's the shop where people can identify magic items at. And let's just, you know what? Let's wrap this one up with number 10. What should you have at number 10 be? No?
For Trigard?
Yeah.
Well, we have one as King Lololo.
Yeah.
Oh, what's her name? Number 10 is the wife.
Did we roll her name? I don't think we rolled her name.
Let's roll her name.
Oh, it's going to lead in right
Queen.
into our NPC. Hold on. I realized this. So, if you guys want this Random Encounters book, the Game Master's book of Random Encounters, we use all of their books, or I use a lot of their books during gameplay. It's awesome. There are a lot of names here, so go ahead and roll me 2 D100s.
2 D. Okay, the first D100.
Yeah.
Let me get my paper on my first D100.
I'm gonna write down. Her name is her first name, Chris. The Queen. Yeah, is Gray.
Queen Gray 85.
Maybe she's a Warforged and her last name is 85.
And she's having gnome baby.
You rolled a female name. I feel like a female sounding name. Gray, like the color, Igrild. Egrild. Nice.
Okay.
All right. Let's put a break. When we come back, we're going to do our famous NPC build where we're going to build Queen Gray Egrild. I wonder if her stats are going to be anywhere near low. And
we'll find out.
These rolls are going to make me side with either one or the other. I feel like I might build my allegiance to low, but we'll be back in a minute.